Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I welcome you all to Shitu's mathematics coaching program. At the end of this video, I want everyone to share this video, subscribe, and hit that bell at the position of subscription. Today we are going to look at quadratic equation by completing the square method. How do we solve quadratic equation by completing the square method? That's what we are going to do today. So there's no much problem here because we've already know the general equation of quadratic to be ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. If the left hand side is what? Is equals to 0. The right hand side is equal to 0. So as we are given this, ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. If you are given a kind of equation like this and you are asked to solve this equation by completing the square method, so there's no way you are going to do. It's just that you're just trying to make this, to take the c, that is the constant term c here, to the left hand side, then remain ax squared plus bx, then you make ax squared plus bx a perfect square, that is quadratic, perfect square quadratic. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So now, let's say you are given this type of a question, they are giving this question to solve, like, let's say you are given this question that is solve 5y squared, solve 5y squared plus 9y minus 2 equals to 0. You can see, if you are to compare this, you can see that this is actually quadratic equation. Are you getting it? In terms of what? In terms of variable y. It doesn't matter you have variable x, it can be any variable. You can use any letter for a variable here. But the variable we are given here is what? Is y. We are looking for the value of y. So if the degree of the highest degree, the highest power of variable is 2, that is why we call it quadratic equation. Understand? And the left hand side is quadratic expression, so that's from here to here, that is quadratic expression. But since we have equals to 0 or equals to something, that has turned to what? To equation. So now, how are you going to do? Is that you are going to look for the value of what? The value of y. The value that will satisfy this equation. That's after everything, if you now substitute or you put back the value of y you got, must be equals to 0. That this left hand side must be equals to 0. So we now want to look for the possible values of y, the two possible values of y. So if you want to do this one now, by completing the square method, how are you going to do? You first, because you can see the highest, the variable that is having highest power, that is 2, is what? You can see the coefficient of it is what? Is 5. Therefore, you make sure that the coefficient of this is what? Is unity, that is 1. So how are you going to do that? You divide through by what? By 5. Divided through by 5, we have 5 squared plus 9 over 5y minus 2 over 5 equals to 0. Can you see that? So now, the next step is to take the constant term to the what? To the right hand side. So taking that is, we have y squared plus 9 over 5y equals to 2 over 5. So as this one crossing the equality sign, definitely the sign will be what? Will be changing to positive. That's why we have 2 over 5 here. If let's say we have plus 2 over 5 here, definitely if this one is crossing the equality sign to the other side, definitely the sign will change to minus. I get what I'm saying now. So that's how we have this one now. So now from here, what's the next thing? The next thing for you to do is to make this left hand side, that is, make LHS be perfect what? Perfect square. Make it to be perfect square. To make it to be perfect square, it means you take the half of coefficient of y. The half of coefficient of y, you take the half of coefficient of y, then you add to the both sides. Because in equation, whatever operation you apply to one side, you will apply it to the other side too. So now, if you take the half of this one now, if you want to take the half of this, the half of the coefficient of y here is 9/5. So now if you want to take the half of it, it will be multiplied by half, that is half of 195. So therefore, we square it, so we have 9 over what? Over 5, no, 9 over 10 raised to power 2. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So this is the we have already taken the half of it and we've squared it. See this, 9 over 10 squared. So now this result, you now add it what? You add it to the both sides. That is, we have y squared plus 9 over 5 plus 9 over 5 y plus 9 over 10 all what? All squared, which is equal to 2 over 5 plus 2 over 5 plus 9, 2 over 5 plus 9 over 10 all squared. Are you getting what I'm doing now? So now, from there, what are we going to do? We solve further. So now you see that the left hand side of this equation has turned to perfect square. Definitely, if you want to compare this to the general expression of what? Of perfect square, that is L square minus 2xy plus y square. But this one is plus, equals to x plus y square all square. That means if you want to compare this one now, you make sure that you can see this one, you now combine this one and this one. So far it's plus, it will be y plus 9 over 10 all square, 9 over 10 all square equals to 2 over 5 plus 9 square, that is 9 square is 81, 9 square is 81, then 10 square is what? Is 100. Are you getting what I'm saying now? So try to solve the right hand side further. So the LCM of this one is what? Is 100. 5 in 100, what do we have? We have 20. 20 times 2, we have 40 plus 100 divided by 100 is what? Is 1. Times this one, we have what? We have 81. Y plus 9 over 10 all squared. So now from here, the right hand side will be 121, that is 40 plus 81, 121 over 100. So now from here, we have y plus 9 over 10 all squared. So now we are looking for the value of y, and this y is enclosed by this bracket, and the bracket is having what? A power 2. So now how are we going to do? So we first deal with what? With this power 2. So how are we going to deal with the power 2? Definitely you make sure that we don't see this 2 here again. So there's nothing like 2 here again. So now if you want to do that, it means you are going to square the both side. Understand? You square root the both side. Squaring or square root the both side, you have what? You have this. You have this. As you are squaring, definitely you have plus or minus, because don't forget that I told you that the possible values of the variable of quadratic equation is what? Is 2. Definitely we have plus or minus attached with this what? Square root sign. So we have y plus 9 over 10 equals to the square root of 121 is what? Is 11. While the square root of 100 is what? Is 10. So now plus or minus. From here we have y to be equals to plus or minus 11 over 10 minus 9 over 10. So now, if you look at this, first take plus. Are you getting it? If you first take plus sign, definitely y will be equals to 11 over 10 minus 9 over 10, which is what? 2 over 10, equivalent to 2 over 10 is equivalent to 1 over 5. That is 2 into 1, 2 in 10 is what? Is 5. So at the same time, taking the negative sign, you have y to be equals to minus 11 minus 9 over what? Minus 11 minus 9 over 10, we have what? Minus 20 over 10, which is equal to y minus 2. Therefore, our value is what? We have two possible values of y. One to be 1 over 5 and the second one to be minus 2. So if you take any of these values and you put it back to this equation, definitely all this side must be equal to what? Must be equal to 0. If you now check that and you found that there's nothing like that, that is the left hand side is not equal to 0, definitely there is something wrong with your solving, with your workings. So you need to go back and check where there was a mistake. So that's how we are going to do it, and that's how it is being solved. So now don't forget, from the beginning I told you that before you can use completing the square method, make sure that the coefficient of y squared, that means the highest, the variable that is having the highest power, let the coefficient to be what? To be 1 before you can make it what? Make it a complete square. So that's what we did there. So we just try to divide all through by what? By that coefficient. But if it is what? If it is 1 from the beginning, you don't need to disturb yourself. Just make after taking the constant term to the other side, just make the expression at the left hand side be perfect square. Then you write the form of your perfect square, then you solve further, then you get your final answer. So now this is where we are going to stop today. I hope all we have done really understood. So if you don't understand, click on the comment box and text me message, or you ask any question. So now please this is the end of today's lesson. So I want you to please share this video to your friends and subscribe, and also do not forget to hit that bell at the position of subscription, Please take care of yourself and have a nice day.